Hello and welcome back to another episode of Media Munchers. I'm Mathian.
And I'm Adrian.
And boy, have we got some juicy stuff for you today. We have Dave Chappelle getting tackled on stage. We got some Fast 10 news, which can never be good news. There's never good news about a Fast and Furious movie. We'll get into that.
Lately, yeah.
That's what it seems like. We also have a Weird Al trailer, followed by some Moon Knight finale and some Northman. But before we get into all of that, I got a little Muncher minute for you. Apple, you ready? So go ahead, click on the link. It's a dog, and dogs, they're intelligent creatures, right? They know how to do some things. Have you ever seen a dog that learns to skate? Check this out. Look at this boy shred. Peep the lean, peep the lean. I mean, come on. That's pretty impressive. I was reading the comments on that, and they're like, what's your excuse? I was like, you're right. What is my excuse? Why haven't we all learned to shred yet? I just thought it was great. It was a great little pick-me-up. So that's my Muncher minute, man. But should we get into the news? We shall. Okay, I'll start us off. So Dave Chappelle rushed on stage by, quote, he calls it a trans man. For those who don't know, at the Hollywood Bowl, Dave was introducing some DJs for this big event he was doing. When he got assaulted by someone in the crowd who later ran off and, quote, got stomped by security and others backstage. Have you seen the video for all this?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I just saw it
TMZ,
today.
right?
Yeah, from TMZ. I just saw it today for the first time, and I was like, this is wild. And here's the photo of the assailant getting stretched out. I mean, look at that arm, my guy. Jeez Louise. I just think this whole situation's crazy because, like, I always like, man, it'd be nice to go to a comedy club and just, like, try some stuff out. But it's these times we're living in that are so polarizing where I'm like, it is a wild time to be a comedian. Like, I just think that if I thought if anyone in America had the most free, like, license to free speech, it would be like a black man, like arguably the most oppressed person in American history, right? But even they are getting stomped. They're 0 for 2 this year. We got Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle getting hands on them. Now, anyway, we're not. That's not the point. But the point is, I was like, man, maybe like this individual had issues with like prior remarks he made in the Closer, like Dave's like one of his last more recent stand-up specials in which like there's LGBTQ content, and some people say it's like homophobic or transphobic in this instance, and then other people were like, no, he's just the larger story was talking out against cancel culture. But I'm just like, regardless, man, like I don't think physical violence is just the automatic go-to. It's not like he was inciting violence. I'm like, it's weird, like now that like comedians got to roll with like basically like crews, man. Like just like.
Well, Dave Chappelle has like 20 guys already.
I know, but like, but still there's a security failure because like there's no one in the front, like watching the front for weirdos. I mean, I went to a band, I went to a 311 concert, and there was at least 7 dudes lined up on front of the stage so no one would rush, and we had like 4 feet of clearance. Like they weren't playing games with 311. Dave Chappelle's like a superstar, like arguably. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just thought that was interesting that there was such a colossal security breach. And like that guy had apparently he had a replica gun, like a replica gun.
Oh
for
yeah, I
reason,
heard about that.
and a
like
knife. Bro, like he had Dave for like at least 4 or 5 seconds before anyone got close to him. He could have easily shanked him if he had a real gun, which I doubt he would have been able to get in there if they did front door security right. But I mean, like some shots could have gone off. Like colossal failure security wise. I was like, bruh. It doesn't make me hopeful for I don't know comedians. I'm like, y'all better stay strapped or something. Good luck to y'all. I thought that was wild though. Before we get off that, of course, many people heard Chris Rock was there too, and he went for the obvious joke. He was like, "Was that Will Smith?" I was like, "Nice." I'm glad he was there for that. Anyway, moving on. You want to get into your news?
Yeah. So the director Justin Lin of Fast 10, Fast X, whatever you want to call it,
the fastest one yet. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's now leaving. Apparently, Vin Diesel is being difficult with
surprise.
He's showing up late. He's not knowing his lines. He is also out of shape. Apparently, he's not fit to play
Dominic?
Dom Toretto.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and then I mean that's all hearsay. It's not necessarily
like
coming from director Justin, but
sure. The people on set are talking. I'm assuming.
Yeah, the people on set that's what they're saying.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, is Vin Diesel all right?
That's what I'm thinking. Because like, okay, there's 2 ways you can go about it. Either he's so I don't know rich and famous that nothing matters, and like this is his last little I don't know like IP, and he can do whatever he wants with it. Like he thinks he's like his shit doesn't stink maybe. Or like maybe he is going through like a midlife crisis and like he's struggling to, maybe he thinks he's not as relevant anymore and he's like struggling to hold on to whatever semblance of fame he has. Because for me personally, I've never seen like Vin Diesel specifically is like up there with like, I don't know, The Rock or like, you know, Tom Cruise is like as the movie star. I know he's in a lot of movies and he is a star, but he's not like the brightest shining one. Maybe like, I don't know, I'm just speculating, but maybe he's coming to grips with that and he doesn't like that.
Right.
Maybe
right,
I don't. Do you think Fast 9 was like really numbing for him, or like
maybe
humbling?
Yeah.
Maybe
I mean, it didn't. It
bombed, right?
Or did it do well? I don't remember.
I mean, I didn't see.
But I know critically, it was
critically it was bad,
panned.
right?
Yeah, it was bad.
Now I have to find out. Let's see. Fast 9 box office. Second. It says it opened for 7 million. It grossed $500 million globally, which makes it the third biggest movie of 2021. But that's globally. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, it's still, I'm sure they made their money back. But
oh yeah, probably.
I don't know. I just don't think it did amazing. China. Wow, China. It does really well in China apparently.
I just don't know what this movie's.
You said they already went to space, right? I didn't even watch
Yeah,
9.
they already went to
Maybe
space.
they're gonna go like intergalactic, you know? It'll just turn into some Star Trek shit or something.
Like, are they gonna try to like bring down the scales as far as how
how the scope of
like
it,
how
like,
ridiculous it gets?
That would be an interesting like 180, like go back to form, like go back to the first one, and like it's just like a down to earth street.
It's like the last one they introduced Vin's or Dom's brother.
Right. John Cena's character.
John Cena.
I don't know his name, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And then like where did they go with that? Like go ahead and spoil it for me. Like did they set up more stuff for him to do or not really? Did he die or something?
I don't think he died. I think like he turned good or something.
He turned good. It's all about the family. All right.
It's all about
Okay. Well, best of luck to that film. I'm really interested to see how this goes, but that's gonna be interesting. What a train wreck. Should we get into the trailer?
Sure, yeah.
All right. You want to play it on yours or should I play it on mine?
I can pull it.
All right, pull it up, man. Pull it up. Wow. I gotta say this. Okay, first thing we have to clear something up. Yeah. Based off the trailer music, do you think it's gonna be a Bohemian Rhapsody situation where the actor is doing all of the acting, but the actual lyrics vocals are dubbed or by like original artists? Do you think that's where they're going with this? Because based off the trailer, I'm thinking they might. I don't know how well Daniel Radcliffe can sing.
Yeah, I don't know.
He can at all.
I don't know if he can.
Okay.
But would they have the rights? Do they have the rights to the music?
Oh, I would assume. I mean, it looks like a biopic or, you know, the untold true story. I mean, I'm pretty sure Weird Al's on board with this. He probably like co-wrote it or is producing it or he's still alive. It's not like he's dead, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, yeah, I guess if in that case
probably used his dubs or whatever. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Which is fine. I don't mind. I think it looks fun. I think it looks weird. I actually don't know much about Weird Al's personal life other than he's just the parody man. I do know one fun tidbit that never gets like, everyone always brings it up every time we talk about him. But apparently even though he doesn't technically have to because I think he's protected under parody law or something like that, he actually gets permission from the original artist for every song he parodies. As just like a cool show of like good faith or you know what I mean, like kind of just like respect out of. I thought that was interesting. I was like, that's cool. You don't have to do that, but you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for this. I need some weird in my life, and I'm glad Daniel Radcliffe is still doing stuff. He could have burnt out and been like all hopped up on drugs already, being a child actor, but he stayed out of that. So good for him.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of like interesting roles.
Yeah, like I still haven't seen him in that Lost City thing with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum. Remember?
Oh, he's in that.
He is in that. He plays like eccentric billionaire or whatever. I want to see him in that, but I got to get around to it. But I'm just happy for the man. He looks good. He looks kind of in shape there. Did he like work out for this movie or like has he always been that cut?
Yeah, I guess he did, right?
I don't know. It looks cool. What are your thoughts? Are you interested or not really?
Yeah, I'm pretty interested. Did it say that it was created by the people who did Bohemian Rhapsody?
I didn't catch that because I was kind of far away from the screen, but it might have been. It has kind of a similar energy.
But yeah, it had similar energy. I got that.
Yeah. I'm with it. I mean, that movie was fine. We're not reviewing that movie right now. I still preferred Rocketman. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
I really love. You gotta watch it. Rocketman's so good. Yeah. This the Bohemian Rhapsody was more of just like a one-to-one biopic, and I don't know, like Rocket Man was more theatrical. Is the best way to describe the difference between the two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like one was a movie with music, and one was like a music-filled movie. It was different. I don't know. It was like more of a musical.
I see.
It was the movie with music. Anyway, we're not here to review those. We're here to talk about some Moon Knight episode 6 finale.
Yeah.
You ready to get into that?
Sure.
Let's get into it, man. The thing I have at the top of my notes is that I felt underwhelmed, and that's never a good thing to feel about a finale. But let me get into it. Let's defend it a little bit. So there's not quite a sky laser. I'm disappointed to say there was lasers in the sky.
Yeah.
There was like plasma orbs.
They changed the shots, right?
They
it
changed
ended up
it.
not being such a big laser.
No lasers. They heard us. I said, nah. We gotta switch it up.
It is nice though to switch it up.
No, you gotta switch it up. You gotta keep it. You gotta keep me on my toes. That's what I need to know.
And I feel like this episode definitely did.
It definitely did, and not in the best way because
maybe not.
Well, here's the thing. We start off with Mark saying no to paradise, to the heaven, to the good place or whatever, and he is like, no, I gotta go back for my boy Steven. So as soon as he turns around, he's instantly in the sand, and he's like, oh, there he is. He has this little heart to heart. And then they're free. They like share a heart. Their hearts are full now. It's very touching. Good stuff. Yeah. And then they're able to get back to the land of the living with the help from our favorite hippopotamus god. Or goddess. So that's great. Tawet it. Yeah. So, but meanwhile, Layla is IRL and she like waits for Harrow and his goons to clear out. Yeah. And then she's got to just kind of like solo the mission. She's got to do what she's got to do to find out how to stop this whole debacle with Harrow releasing Amet. Luckily, she's able to free Khonshu and stand up to him. As the useless, like, OG Egyptian gods or avatars get wrecked by Harrow and Amet. I don't know if he released Amet at this point. I don't remember. But I remember them being extremely useless. I think he did release them at that point. But do you remember that little fight scuffle in the pyramid?
When?
So it was Harrow, and he was coming to either release Amet or he just did it. I think he was coming to do it. And he straight up solos the OG Egyptian gods. He's like, you're not fighters. You're just talkers or whatever.
Right. It was Khonshu.
It was Harrow.
Layla released Khonshu to
That's true.
fight Amet, right?
Yes, that's a little bit later. This is when he's going to break the thing for the first time and release Amet because I remember it takes a while for Amet to come out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he still has that purple cane and he's going ham on the Egyptian.
Right. And
the OG
it
Egyptian
evolves into
yes, exactly. And
the bigger cane.
The bigger cane, exactly. So you got it. So I was just like, what is going on here? And it really disappointed me how useless the original gods were in stopping everything. And first seeing it coming and then doing anything about it. I'm like, you guys are so freaking useless. And I think it was for the plot's sake, but still was annoying to watch.
Yeah, they were taking out pretty
super. Like they weren't even. I was like, what the? Anyway, so
maybe budget, because wouldn't you think that they would like don their own suits or something?
Right, and like have their own abilities.
Yeah.
And they didn't go into any of that. They just did some like white little like plasma magic, and then they got wrecked. And like it wasn't even a fight. I was like, okay.
How come they didn't already conceal or try to conceal, or no, I guess by that point, Amet.
Yeah, no. I think he had to solo the OGs first, and then he released Amet like with no friction.
Right.
And then of course at some point during that, Layla breaks the little statue, and then Khonshu comes out. They try to have a whole deal. I did like her standing up to Khonshu and was like, no way, Josue. Like, I saw what you did to my boy Mark, and like, nah, that's not happening to me. Like, you can go after yourself. But at the same time, like, this whole series, man, Layla to me is so unlikable. Like, she feels like a token and later like a token superhero by the end of it. Like, she doesn't get enough time to have her backstory fleshed out. She has like a small episode with Harrow where she has like her little Tomb Raider episode.
Yeah.
And like we don't see flashbacks, which I guess is fine, but like I didn't feel anything for her father. Like we didn't get enough is what I'm saying. Like she was so underserved, and I was like, this is such a waste. And like it was like this character, I don't like you. Like there's not enough. You're not giving me enough.
Yeah, there definitely wasn't enough setup for her. No,
and the payoff felt like hollow. Oh, she's a superhero now, and she's such a message. But like, cool. But like, where did you come from? Like, it was not enough time. Not enough time with the character. Not enough dedication.
Especially because her whole resolution kind of came here in the last episode, where it could have come from the first episode,
right?
Like had they introduced.
Exactly. It was too little, too late, and I guess this is where this show would have benefited from maybe an episode or two more. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or just a rearranging of time. But yeah. I know the first episode we had to just be introduced to the complicated world of Mark and Steven, but still.
Oh, that worked.
Yeah, it felt like we're building. We had like a slow episode in 4. 5 did so much, and then 6 we're like sweeping it under the rug. Okay, it's over. Like that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It was really
And
annoying.
a lot of the resolution kind of came from like the reveal of Jake Lockley, which was
Yeah.
in the post credit scene.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so
That wasn't even the main episode.
Yeah, it felt kind of like
Tacked on or
tacked on.
literally.
Right.
I mean, like her costume is cool though, and I'm glad she finally accepted help because the whole series she's like, I don't need help from anybody, not ever. And I was like, all right, like damn. And so she finally accepted help from Tomoe, so now she's got those abilities. And there were some cool shots in the final fight scene, but like that was still underwhelming and like it still felt really rushed. Ahmet didn't even seem like that big of a threat. Like it was just a big like kaiju fighting in the middle of like by the pyramids fighting.
Yeah, we didn't really get to see much of their fight.
Not much of it. It was like in the background.
Yeah.
Which not that it really mattered because I guess the avatars mattered more because they were doing their bidding. Right. I guess.
Yeah, that's the more emotional
fight scene.
For us because
we're invested in them.
Yeah, we're invested.
For sure. I mean, but yeah, like I said, the only redeeming part, or I was alluding to this, the only redeeming part was that mid-credit scene of like the third. What's his name again? The third personality.
Jake Lockley.
Jake Lockley showing his fucking mug and like ending Harold's life. I'm like, there you go.
What is he speaking Spanish?
Yeah, it was Spanish the whole way through. Yeah. I guess he's supposed to be like a Spanish cabbie from New York. So. But anyway, it just.
Or a limo driver. Right?
Yeah. Well, in the comics, a cabbie, but here a limo driver, and that was a pimp in limo. I gotta say that Khonshu looked great. Yeah. It was fantastic. Now, but going back, let's backtrack a little bit to Mark not killing Harrow. That really annoyed me because I was like, here we go with the whole, I'm better than this. I'm not gonna kill blah blah blah. This Batman bullshit. I was like, he's just gonna keep doing what he's doing. Nothing's gonna change. Like this one man is devoted to Ahmet's mission. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you tying him up is not gonna do anything, and like throwing him away because someone's gonna sympathize with him. Release him from wherever he's being held up. Like, you know what I mean? Something's going to happen plot-wise. But it's also interesting because this whole series, I didn't think Mark had an issue killing. Being the mercenary and all, and like the gun for hire.
Yeah, it did kind of feel that way.
I was like, where's this coming from?
Yeah,
like,
especially not knowing Jake Lockley was the third person.
Right.
Because it kind of felt like whenever Steven would black out, it would be Mark that would save him.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
originally. So we now this retroactively it raises so many more questions.
Yeah.
Some of the most grueling fight and killing scenes, like especially at the top, was that Jake Lockley instead of Mark, because Mark never did anything to. I feel like he never did anything to say otherwise. That like, no, it wasn't me, or I didn't kill those people. It was just kind of like ambiguous and brooding. You know what I mean? So like, how much of that was in play, and how much is Mark not saying to Steven and vice versa? Like, how did these two go their whole lives? Which now I'm casting doubt on their backstory, because where's this third personality been the whole time? Yeah. Him clocking in for the night shift. Where.
I mean, they did kind of hint at it, possibly being from his time. Was he in the military?
Some sort of armed forces.
He's like Black Ops.
Yeah, something like that.
And him going like AWOL at some point.
Okay. You think that could have
perhaps that's where it started?
Okay, maybe that would make more sense to me. Yeah, if it started then.
But the fact that they barely explored that, and then that kind of ended up being somewhat of a ex machina.
Yeah.
At the end.
I don't know. It's getting a little complicated. I think it's too complicated for them even. You know what I mean?
Well, at least for the amount of episodes that they spent on it.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's fine to leave it ambiguous and save it for the end, like which we all assume they would, right? Tease it for the next time. This is the next installment of whatever we get them in. Yeah. Sure. But at the same time, it's just like it does such a good job of playing with your brains. Like, what is real? What isn't? Like, what, you know? I don't know. It's all over the place, and I don't know. This series had a lot of potential, and it succeeds in a lot of parts, but man, some just fall flat to me. So I'm thinking like 7 out of 10.
I really enjoyed the concepts, but the story didn't feel like it fell through really well.
It did not follow through.
Really follow through.
No, I agree with what you're saying for sure. It didn't stick the landing quite as nicely as they hoped.
No.
Oh well. It's a shame. It was a great concept.
I really enjoyed it.
I did. It was a fun ride, but there were some bumps, man. There were some bumps. Let me tell you. Let's take a brief break, and when we get back, we'll get into that Northman review. All right? Yeah. All right, let's do it. All right, let's get into this Northman review, Big Apple. Let me read this little synopsis from IMDb for you real quick. From visionary director Robert Eggers comes The Northman, an action-filled epic that follows a young Viking prince on his quest to avenge his father's murder. And that's pretty much the movie in a nutshell, like literally, as far as plot is concerned. Now, let's just get right into the top, man. Ethan Hawke, he's back again.
Yeah, he is.
As Prince Amleth's father and a king was a pleasant surprise to me, as was Willem Dafoe's jester role. Like, I thought, oh, this is cool. Like, this is fun. It felt a little out of place to me because I'm like, this is not who I associate with like maybe Nordic or Swedish actors, but whatever,
Right,
it's fine.
yeah.
We're having a good time here.
Nicole Kidman as well.
Yep. I heard that 110%. But those short-lived, these two literally set up the entire movie and set the tone for the audience and young Prince Amleth as to what we might have to endure for the next 2 hours. So I was like, okay, great. That was great. Fantastic. To me, the action in this movie was used just right. Like, I was expecting a 300 style film from like maybe the trailers and stuff, like the whole movie just fighting, nonstop fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what we got. We got like after the time skip, it's like a badass scene of a grown and raised by wolfman Prince Amleth just destroying a village, wrecking it. You remember like him catching the spear?
Yeah,
chucking
dude,
it right
that
back
was
at the
so
guy.
dope.
I was like, what are we watching?
And it was such a cool shot, the way like the camera kind of
It's like-
turned with the spear coming at him.
and then just
and
kind
him
of like
catching
threw
it.
it right back. I
Yeah.
loved it. It was fantastic. And yeah, so he chucked it back at that tower guard, and then the in your face violence in this movie was crazy and crude and like, but I was here for it. It was never like too over the top. It just felt like real, grounded, nasty like violence. And like, it was only used as necessary. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, the whole aesthetic of it was like very understated.
I loved it. Yeah.
It was like really nice. Like when they got into the I don't know what you call it. Like
What were they doing?
When it was like the face, the close up shots of their face, and they had like the lights in the back.
Oh yeah. Like when they're all backlit. And
Yeah,
like, it's all, like,
when they were like in their like trance.
oh okay, yeah.
Like,
Is it when they were high on whatever?
Yeah,
Like that soup.
Yeah, that's what it was. They were drinking the soup,
And they were like all like,
Yeah.
barking and howling and shit and being weird. That was so cool too, because like that set up the heightened like elements that followed the entire movie. Like anytime anyone was going to a different realm, or like whether it was because they're high or because they were talking to like witch people, and we'll get into that, and like or like listening, like following animals around and guiding them to caves with sages and stuff. I was like, this is like cool. It was dropped in at just the right moments to keep the plot going. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that was good. Man, my boy Alexander got ripped to play Amleth. Like it was just it was just like jacked, big ass 6 foot plus dude next to like a bunch of normal ass people.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? But like I said, the heightened aspects and the lore are really appreciated. There were so many connections to like the lore of Viking culture that many of us are familiar with, thanks to like Thor and other properties like that, like Valhalla and Valkyries and Fenrir, et cetera, et cetera. Like all that's just baked into the world and it feels really authentic.
Yeah,
and it was nice getting a grounded version of all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I felt like I even learned more mythology behind all of it.
The way it was used.
Yeah. How how like their clan was personifying themselves as wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And like how the father took him in.
Yeah.
To like grow into that.
Yeah, like from going like a cub. He even references it. I think in the movie, he's like, that cub you tried to kill is now a wolf, and he was like wants revenge, and like because he's going after his slain father's brother, right? That's who kills him at the top and gives him the most motivation.
Fjolnir,
I believe, something like that.
Something like that.
I'm not slick with the names. I gotta look them up.
They're hard to pronounce.
They are. But another thing that interested me a great deal was the witch that spoke to adult Amleth and continued the direction he got from the sage and witches. On his fated quest for revenge, because that the whole idea of fate is really strong in this movie, and he's like how he can't escape it, and like how he believes like through and through. Like we'll get into it later, but he was like he doesn't. He's like invincible until it's his time to die, and he believes that throughout the whole thing, and it kind of keeps him going. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what carries him throughout the.
Literally, like it's this one singular quest.
Yeah, and you really get that when he's a kid.
On the
what is
boat.
it, rowing the boat,
he's rowing
right?
the boat, and he has the 3 sentences.
Yeah, I will.
It was I will
avenge you, father.
Avenge you, father. Save you, mother, and I will
kill you.
Fjolnir. Yeah, and he says it like repeat it, and that's his whole mantra. And you could tell.
And
he
it felt like
him.
so like visceral. Like you felt like he was
like a one-track minded beast or something. Yeah, like that's all he wanted to do, man. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was really great. Jumping around, there's a lot that happens, and the movie really does take its time. And like you said, it's understated, but it's really nice. It's like it's oddly beautiful and like kind of like old and almost gothic. It's just dark, right? It's like it's a darker movie.
Very muted.
Yeah, very muted, and I love it. And a lot happens. He even like makes himself a slave so he can get in with his little uncle's tribe or whatever, and like work for him and all that. And then he meets Olga of the Forest. That's his like little love interest.
Right.
Anya
Taylor-Joy.
Exactly. That was fun. That didn't feel forced, and it felt like it kind of grew naturally. And like even by the end, he wasn't expecting to have fallen in love with her and make kids or whatever. But like I like their whole conniving operation, like the slaves revolting. And I know they're not literally supposed to be. I know she is, but he's just there to like fulfill his revenge mission.
Right.
And I just like them conniving the whole time and like figuring shit out. It's great.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, they had really good chemistry.
Fantastic chemistry.
Yeah, and it was cool how that sort of relationship set up his destiny.
And the fact that he had to choose as well. Because they even set it up at the beginning of the movie where it's like you're going to have to choose between, what was it, like quenching revenge or like harboring hope for the ones you love. Some weird like thing like that. And by the time he's confronted with her, you know, he finds out he has kids through that awesome like heightened tree branch of life connected blood thing. Yeah. He's like, I'm going to do both. He's like, I'm going to protect you guys by letting you sail off to safety. And I'm just going to jump the boat and go back and murder. Yeah. Real near.
Yeah, he finds like a middle ground.
Yeah, which is interesting. He gets to have both. He gets to have his cake and eat it too. At the cost of his life, of course.
Right.
But which was interesting. We'll get into that. I did not think he was going to die at the end, but he did.
Yeah.
We'll get into
that. As destiny foretold.
I guess so.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
A little bit, right? Yeah. But it was another thing that was interesting is like we're getting ahead of ourselves, but now we're going to walk it back. When he comes to that reveal, when it's that scene, it's time for him to save his mom, right? He goes, he talks to her, he reveals who he is, he confronts her, and I'm surprised to see how the whole story, and the audience perspective as well as Amleth, turns on its head when she tells him the truth. She drops a fat truth bomb on him that like, I begged for your uncle to kill your father. He was this, he was that, he was a piece of shit. You know, he forced me to have you. It wasn't out of love, it was just out of lust, whatever, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, bruh. And, like, you know, Amleth couldn't believe it, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, shit. Like, this whole justified righteous mission has kind of been, like, soured by the ugly, ugly truth of that time. And it fucked me up. I don't know. How did you like that? How did you respond to that?
It was also, like, subtly hinted at the beginning with the jester when he had made that side remark.
What did he say? I forgot.
I don't know. It was like a crude joke toward the queen.
Oh, okay.
And the king had played it off like, you know, that's just what he's there for.
Oh, but he saw it for what it was.
Yeah, who was it? The brother, Fjolnir. He saw it as disrespect to the queen.
Right.
Which is what kind of set off.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. That little triangle.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, why does he care so much about what's going on? And I thought maybe it was just like royalty and like, you know, all that. Him being just like the, you know, the more posh and prim, like you can't talk to royalty like that. I didn't realize that there was layers to it.
Yeah,
he was like in love with her, and I didn't realize all that. That was cool. Nice
catch.
No,
it took me watching a breakdown.
To realize that. No, it's cool. Yeah. It's cool. I wish I could have seen it twice, but not really because it was really long. I would. It's just really long. But it was good though. By the end, it felt earned because it is an epic, right? And like they did take their time, and they didn't feel like they had a rush to keep you entertained. Like they told you a damn story, and you're gonna sit there and watch it, and that was good. It was appreciated. It was really good.
Yeah, it was really slow burn.
It was, but there was some nice like highlights and moments that I really appreciated. The visuals were amazing, as we talked about. I love the color grade. It was understated, as you said, and the cinematography reminded me of Dune at times, particularly with like the landscape shots. Because by the end of it, we get what they promised with like the lava fight. You know, it's just like the volcano exploding.
Yeah,
like these big wides. Nice. I'm like, man, this would have been cool if it was on IMAX or something. But it was still really good to watch. We still had a big screen to ourselves, and yeah, it was a long movie, like I said, but at the end, it felt earned, and I really enjoyed Anna Taylor-Joy as Olga and how she played a critical role in freeing the village and even helping Amleth. Because remember how he freed her, right? Because he had that bluff with the heart, like this is the heart of your son or whatever, and you know, so she escaped, and then he gets captured, and we talked about in the movie how like he's tied up. He's like, you're not gonna kill me. It's not my time to go. And then she ends up freeing him, but still we think it's heightened because we think it's crows that free him because that's how he sees it.
Yeah.
And then like a Valkyrie taking him to like maybe Valhalla or something, but no, they're just at a hot spring. They're gonna catch up. But I was like, that's still cool though. Like I enjoyed all that.
Yeah.
Another thing I enjoyed is how like it was odd being able to see the humanity through the inhumane conditions. Like even though like as the audience we're supposed to see, you know, these people as savages and like Amleth is just on this quest for revenge and they're evil. It's like, I don't know, they lived how they saw it fit, and then there were still games, like there still was revelry. They tried to have like little campfire sing song dance things. Like these are still humans, right? Even though they're like barbaric by our standards, right? They're still trying to find the joy in their like whatever they can in their lives, and it was interesting seeing all that. and seeing like that family dynamic who you're not rooting for, but you can see where they're coming from. So I don't know. I thought that was a nice little touch personally. So
yeah, for sure.
And then what else? I don't know. I got glimmers of Revenge of the Sith by the final battle next to that freaking volcano.
Dude, I did.
Right?
I was thinking of that too. I was like, haven't I seen that before?
Yeah. What was different about this one, which is like they were so damn close to the lava and there wasn't lightsabers, there were swords.
Right. Yeah.
But man, the ending was unexpected to me, given how much of a tank Amleth was the whole film because of his destiny and how he, how physically imposing he was. But like. He almost ran from it earlier too, like we talked about with the whole choosing between his love and his revenge.
Yeah.
But the writer's like, nah, you want to see a final fight with this guy. So they gave us that, right, with the lava fight.
Yeah.
And I was just crazy, like, because I thought after he got that big old gash in his bicep that it was over. Like, there's no way this dude's still swinging a sword after that, right?
Yeah, I loved seeing that moment, the like build of his, like him like almost feeling like he's not gonna make it, and then suddenly like he gets the urge strength, to like start fighting back and get back into it.
And then like that last final push is what like ends everything. I was like, he gets one through the heart, and then he takes off. What's his name said?
Fjolnir,
something like that. Fjolnir.
I hope I'm saying it right.
I hope so too. Well, regardless, it's a mutual death, a mutual execution. They kill each other, and that's it. Like I don't even remember how it ends. I just remember them like their dead bodies just laying there.
Well, I think.
Oh, it's like a little flashback to or flash forward to Olga saying we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, and the two
twins, right?
Twins, right?
Yeah. They're fraternal. One's a guy, one's a girl.
Right. Okay.
But they're twins.
Yeah.
And then he's just like his eyes like kind of see like stars or Valhalla or whatever, the galaxy, and then he just kind of like dies. And I'm like, damn, that was crazy, but it was good too. I loved it. Apparently, Alexander Skarsgård, I think is his last name. Yeah, I think I said that right. Anyway, he was the big producer, and he's been wanting to do a Viking movie for like many years. So he finally got what he wanted here. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Honestly, I'd rate it like maybe an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was really solid. So,
yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, really pleased with the movie, and y'all should go check it out if you haven't seen it. Even though we just told you the whole movie. All right, for Media Munchers, I'm Mathian.
And I'm Adrian.
And we're gonna catch you next time.